Toha was 14. She was kidnapped, sold into a brothel, and it took our team 22 days to find her. In those 22 days, she was raped, forced to have sex with 198 men. You know, you would think that when a girl is being carried out of a brothel, that she would be ecstatic. She's an emotional wreck. But then you see that girl get to the safe house. And at one point, you see the moment on that girl's face where she knows her nightmare is over. There is so much misery, so much pain and suffering and sorrow. If there wasn't joy that was a part of what we do, I couldn't make it. I'm the president and founder of an organization called Joy International. There has to be joy. This last June, I was in Cambodia. A young girl came over. "You Dr. Jeff?" I said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Thank you so much for your work." And then she turned her head around. She said, "Look at my new tattoo." And on the back of her neck, it had the number 22. Seeing these girls set free, there's no greater joy than that.
Dr. Jeff Brodsky and his organization have poured countless resources into rescuing and rehabilitating sex trafficking victims. Would you please welcome Dr. Jeff Brodsky. Dr. Brodsky, thank you so much for being here. When I saw the video, I mean, I was moved that this little girl is kidnapped and then taken and turned into a sex slave and abused at a level that is shocking to me. And I thought I understood some things about human trafficking. Obviously, I was unaware of how intense this is for these kids.
As most people are unaware. You know, the theme of a book that I just wrote this last year that came out, The Least of These, the main theme of that book is awareness is good, but awareness without action is apathy. Even your viewers tonight, when they watch this segment, my goal is awareness, but hopefully to motivate people to action. Awareness without action is apathy. If I make people aware of this problem and they choose to do nothing about it, what have I accomplished?
Yeah.
Nothing. So that's always my goal when I speak, no matter where it is, whether it's a TV show, a church, a youth group, a civic or social organization, anywhere I go, it's always the same prayer when I'm walking on that stage. Father, use me today to be your voice to motivate at least one person into action in a way that would help me to rescue even one more child.
Dr. Brodsky, you're barefoot.
I am.
You have been barefoot for a while. How long and why?
Well, I've been barefoot next month 9 years.
9 years.
Yes, not even a sock on my feet in 9 years. Doing this in solidarity with orphaned and abandoned and trafficked children around the world. I was at a garbage dump in Phnom Penh, July 19th, 2010. We were there feeding children that live in the dump. And I was standing on the side there. We had a bowl of rice with chicken in it. And as they were eating, I noticed that they were all barefoot. 2 of them had old flip-flops. When I went to my hotel room that night, I talked to God all the time. And I've learned to be sensitive when he's talking to me. And I heard him say to go barefoot for 1 year in solidarity with those children. And I thought, God, I live at 9,000 feet elevation in the mountains of Colorado. How can I do that? And he assured me in a way that only he could, that as long as I'm careful, he would take care of me. I've never had frostbite or anything like that. After the 1 year anniversary, on July 19, 2011, Governor, I was the happiest man on earth. I couldn't believe I went for a whole year. This is what I did. I wake up between 2 to 3 a.m. every day. I had a pair of socks on my couch. I put my left foot on the ottoman. Whether the people that are watching this believe it or not, I took the sock, put it on my toes, went to pull it on, and I couldn't get those socks past my toes. And I cried out to God. It was like a tug of war. I don't know if he sent an angel or what, but I could not get those socks past my toes. And I cried out. I said, God, what do you want from me? I just went for a whole year. And that still small voice spoke to me in a way that only God could. And these are the words that I heard. Keep going. Those children are still out there. And I made a decision that as long as my going barefoot would motivate even one person a year to action in a way that would help me to rescue even one more child a year, I would go barefoot the rest of my life.
Now you have a wonderful concept, the Barefoot Mile. A lot of churches and civic organizations are participating.
Yeah.
What is a barefoot mile, and how can people, because I have a feeling there are people and churches around the country listening to you that say, we could do this.
It was a small youth group in a little town of Coshocton, Ohio. After I spoke to the church, a week later, the youth pastor called and said, Dr. Jeff, you really motivated these children, these teens. They want to do something to help raise funds because it's very expensive. Rescue operations are so expensive. And they want to walk a mile barefoot in solidarity with you. They want to call it the Barefoot Mile. Is that okay? And I said, well, yeah. Well, they raised $13,000. And I went, oh my gosh, there's some potential here. The last Barefoot Mile that we had was in Anchorage, Alaska, just last month. And they raised over $200,000.
Goodness.
The governor walked with us. The governor.
How about that?
Governor's wife, the mayor, Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Dan Sullivan walked with us, Miss Alaska, but now we're getting invitations not only around the country, but all over the world. And if people want to learn about the Barefoot Mile, again, just go to our website, joy.org, joy.org, and they can get information from there. But it's been astounding. It's so humbling when I attend one and you see hundreds of people take off their shoes and socks to bring awareness and to help us to fight this evil. Governor, there's no worse crime perpetrated against a child since the dawn of creation than the trafficking of these children, being forced into brothels, being used by men 15 to 20 times a day. We've rescued children from brothels, Governor, as young as 4 years old.
Oh, my God.
It's an evil. The depths of depravity in our world today knows no bounds. But having me on your show and hopefully motivating, again, even one person to action in a way that would help us to rescue even one more child. Is it worth it? Of course it's worth it. What if it was your daughter?
Thank God for what you're doing, Dr. Brodsky. God bless you.
Thank you.
What an incredible evil is happening, and it's a blessing to find that there's people who are willing to help. And if you want to find out more information about Joy International, or maybe host and sponsor a Barefoot Mile in your community, through your church. I can't think of a better way to do it. Do it through your church or your community. Go to joy.org. That's joy.org.